Good morning, Franklin High School. Time to quiet down, please. We're ready to get this thing started.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
Good morning, Franklin High School. I'm Officer Michael Bradley with the California Highway Patrol. This every 15-minute program is brought to you by Elk Grove Unified School District, the administration from Franklin High School, and this is funded from a grant from the Office of Traffic Safety and through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. This program is for you. It's not for the administration. We're adults. What we want you to take from this program today is the feeling that you can make a difference in somebody else's life by making great choices. We've all made bad choices at some point of our lives. It's about what you do from today and what you learn from today and yesterday that's going to carry us forward. And now I'm going to turn this over to Principal Ms. Chantel Albiani.
Welcome. Thank you all for being here with us today. For the last 8 months, we've been meeting and planning so that the events of the last 2 days will have a lasting impact. As you witnessed yesterday, there's a tremendous amount of community collaboration that has to happen in order to create a situation of this magnitude. I would like to personally thank Franklin High staff members Brian Kilby, Gwen Rubio, Deidre Sparrow, John Harrigan, Don Townsend, and Jennifer Hubbard. Thank you also to CHP Officer Mike Bradley for working closely with Mr. Kilby and the committee on coordinating the outside agency support. Thank you to Joe Gardino from the Cosumnes River Fire Department for volunteering many hours of his time to help put together this remarkable event. Thank you also to Angela Kellogg from the California Office of Traffic Safety for running the student retreat last night, and to Norm Powers from the Sacramento Law Enforcement Chaplaincy for running the parent retreat. In addition to the key players I just introduced, we've had several community sponsors who also volunteered their time, working prior to or even after their regular workday schedule to bring our campus this epic assembly. Please help me thank our partners, California Highway Patrol, California Office of Traffic Safety, Cosumnes River Fire Department, Sacramento Law Enforcement Chaplaincy, CalSTAR, Kebab House, Kaiser Permanente, Flores Bar and Grill, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the Film Squad, Dignity Memorial, Larry A. Nauman and Son, Canaan Sound and Light, and LJ's Towing. We literally could not have done this without any of their help. And finally, it is our sincere hope that this event will have a lasting impact on our student population. It is important that you all remember, you are not invincible. Your choices and your actions directly affect the lives of so many others. Families, friends, teachers, first responders, hospital personnel, chaplains, and many, many others suffer every time someone chooses to drink and drive. Thank you. Can we dim the lights, please?
Coach couldn't make it, so I'm going to run warm-up. Let's go.
And our next thing that we were talking about was keeping Challenge Day alive on campus. Right. So I feel like it's really lacking because no one really talks about Challenge Day ever since Challenge Day passed.
Okay, Christine, get your gloves. Sophie, warm her up. Casey and Tay, pair up, and Kai, you're with me.
I went to San Diego State to go do their Explore CSU thing, right? But basically, you get the bracelet, and then when you see someone else doing something nice or being civil with someone else or something like that, you pass the bracelet on to them. So I thought that'd be kind of cool if we did that here and we give them to everyone at Challenge Day.
Captain. Let's go. Pick it up. All right, boys. We're about to get it. We got a huge game ahead of us, but I know we can win. All right? You're about to do solid out there, buddy. You too. Hold it down for our D, all right? Save Dan. Let's get jumping. Let's get jumping.
Solid rally, guys.
I didn't think it was that good.
What do you mean?
We didn't even get to play the balloon race game.
It was still heck of fun.
But James, we had all the kids from leadership work on blowing up the balloons and getting the trikes ready.
I mean, it still wasn't that bad, though.
But it just feels like we worked so hard for nothing.
We can fix that next time. No problem.
How?
Check it out.
If we win, I'm having a party. Y'all can come, all right?
Wait a minute, boys. You gotta keep it down, man.
No drinking.
No drinking. You gotta keep it kind of calm, okay? You guys understand that? You guys understand that?
Yes, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All of this was like, what, 15 minutes? So as long as we keep this fluid, and we have the exact times that'll take for them to perform, we'll be good.
Okay, well, how are you going to get the exact time from people when they won't even come to rehearsal?
I mean, they rehearse outside of the rally, so one of us can just go to band while they're playing, and we can get the exact time then.
That could actually work. Yeah. I like that. You're smart. Just a little bit, though. Good job, James.
Surprising.
Do you go when nobody knows?
Good girl. Good girl. You're pretty. Hey Piper, where's the kitty?
You too.
Good girl. Hey, so how's San Diego?
I really liked it. Like, I see myself at San Diego State next year, James.
That's pretty solid.
Right?
Hey, so Jenny, I'm gonna need your help with something. I'm gonna ask Natalie to ball.
Oh my God, James, are you seriously gonna ask Nat? Oh my God, how are you gonna ask her?
I don't know, that's the problem. I have no idea whatsoever.
Dude, you know what? It's okay. We're gonna DIY Pinterest this. We're gonna find out a way. And we're gonna ask her.
Thanks, Jenny.
All right.
Hey, now your dress came in.
It did? I'm gonna go try it on.
Wait, let me do your hair and makeup first.
Okay.
What color eyeshadow do you want for ball?
I was thinking something light.
No, you need something dark to match with your dress.
Is that really necessary, Claire?
Yeah, I'm gonna practice.
Fine. So, Austin invited me to go to his party tonight, but I don't know if I'm gonna go.
Really?
Yes, don't act so surprised.
It's the last term of your senior year, and you haven't done anything fun like this all through high school.
Maybe I'll go.
Maybe you should stop being lame for just one night and go have some fun.
Fine, I'll go.
Take my whole life too. I can't help falling in love with you. I can't help falling in love with you.
Natalie, what's up, dude? Thank you for coming. Hey, dude, everyone's here. Hey, everyone, Natalie's here.
La la, wait till I give my money right. I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. To whom much is given, much is tested. Get arrested, guess until you get the message. I feel the pressure, under more scrutiny. And what I do, act more stupidly. Bought more jewelry, more Louis V. My mama couldn't get through to me. The drama, people suing me. I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me.
Good morning, Franklin High School. Time to quiet down, please. We're ready to get this thing started.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved was blind, but now I see. I once
Don't worry, James. It'll be fun.
No,
It's fun.
you did this! You did this to him! You did this to me!
I know you know. I know you know.
As you know, Natalie was in a car accident today.
Yeah.
She was severely injured in the car accident. I have to give you some very difficult news, and that is that she has a devastating brain injury that she probably will not recover from.
She has some blood on her scalp and in her hair in the back. Again, the forehead seems to be actively oozing.
Ginny is very critically injured. She was also unable to move her arms and her legs. So we're very worried about a spinal cord injury.
Be strong.
I don't know what happened.
We'll get through this, okay?
I don't remember what happened.
We'll get through this.
I do.
You know Mom and Dad love you, so you know. We'll get through this.
All right, what a dramatic video. You know, the emotions, we know this was all staged, but the emotions that you feel are real. And that's okay. That's what this program's about. Making those emotional impacts in your life. So when you thinking about making that bad decision, whether it's alcohol or racing up and down the street, that you may take a second thought and make a better decision. Whether your friend's at a party and you're supposed to ride with them, or you need to call your parents, those are the times that you need to make take that 1 second, think back to this video, think back to this program, and say, what can I do different to make an outcome better? We can go on and on, but as law enforcement, as fire, as all these other different departments that put this program together, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars spent yesterday bringing a helicopter in, fire department volunteering their time, hospital staff, and all the other agencies and participants that are participating in this. So we know sometimes people laugh and say we're not taking it serious, and we understand that sometimes that's a coping technique. Laughter sometimes helps you to forget the pain that you're actually feeling. As officers, we do it on the side of the freeway all the time. We're at traumatic events, and sometimes people say, hey, there's 4 or 5 officers standing around there, they're all smiling, and there's dead bodies on the side of the freeway. That's how we cope with tragedy sometimes. Well, we have to go out there and live that every day. As firemen, as doctors and nurses, we live this tragedy throughout the nation on a daily basis. We don't like that. And that's what this program is to do. It's a prevention program. We want to prevent the loss of life. I'm going to turn this over right now, and Joe Gardino from Consume This Fire to speak for a few minutes, and then we'll go on with the program.
My name is Joe Gardino. I'm a firefighter and a paramedic for the Cosumnes Fire Department here in Elk Grove. It's my choice to be here today. It was my choice to be here yesterday to provide you with a glimpse into what happens when people make bad choices. The program we presented to you the last 2 days is a graphic and sobering example of what happens when someone makes the choice to drink and drive. And I want you to understand, it's not an accident when someone chooses to drink and drive. It is a choice. I'd like to back up for just a minute and give you a little bit of history about me. I first did this program in Elk Grove in 1998. Now, I know that's the year some of you were born, and many of you were even yet to be born. So for the past 18 years, I've made the choice to bring this program to the students of Elk Grove. I keep doing it because I believe it makes a difference. I've learned many things in all those years, but the thing I've come to realize the most is that our lives, they're a direct result of the choices we make. I've come to realize that when I was your age, I knew right from wrong. I knew what being a good person was all about, and I thought I knew what life was all about. The thing I didn't realize was how the choices I made in my life, in my small circle of the world, affected so many people that I never thought of. You see, that's what this program's really about. It's about how our choices have a ripple effect that we often don't realize. Everyone who's here with me today, everyone that's contributed to this program, they're here because their lives are potentially affected by the choice that people make to drink and drive. Have you ever stopped to think that a choice that you make that results in a tragedy has the potential to affect me and my life? How can that even be? We don't even know each other. That's the kind of power we all have. The power to affect others. We don't even know what the choices that we make. The students you see before me, the ones that participated in this program, they made a choice to do this. Their parents that are sitting in the front rows here, their parents made a choice to allow it to happen. I admire all of them for that choice. It's not easy to stand up before your entire school and have the courage to do what they've done the last 2 days. It's not easy as a parent to subject your child and yourself to the emotions that they've been forced to deal with these past 2 days. But they made that choice. They made it so we could all learn that we're one. The choices we make, both good and bad, affect this entire community. I must also thank each of you in the stands and those of you on the floor and those of you in the remote rooms that are watching this right now. Each of you are making a choice to listen, to learn, to represent Franklin High School with respect, dignity, and class. You're making the choice to show the world what it means to be a wildcat, to show that Franklin High School is an amazing place and they care about the choices that they make, to show that Franklin's committed to making the world a better place that's filled with better choices. When I was your age, I didn't realize that firefighters and police officers were so affected by the choices of others. I didn't realize when they were called to deal with the tragedies that they see, they don't turn it off at the end of the shift when they go home. We carry it with us forever. It changes who we are because we care so much. I didn't stop to think about the hospital staff and the chaplains, that carry such a burden when dealing with the choices that are made by others. They've dedicated their lives to helping others through these difficult times, even when the personal toll is high. I didn't know the depth of caring and love that the school staff had for their students, and the effects that the students' poor choices have on those educators who care so much. All the way to the funeral home directors who must help the families through what's undoubtedly the absolute worst time of their lives. These are the things I didn't realize. My choices, your choices, they have that much power. That's what I want you to take away from the past 2 days. While this program focuses on drinking and driving, and how I pray you do not make the potentially life-altering choice to drink and drive, I want to take it one step further. I want you to leave here with a clear understanding that all of the choices you make affect the world around you. Stop for a minute and ponder that. Oftentimes our lives are so busy we don't stop for that minute and think about the effect we have on this world. Take a minute sometime today and truly ponder that thought. I wish when I was your age and in your shoes, I would have had a better understanding of that concept. My wish for you is that after today, your choices are influenced by the realization that we're all in this life together, that we're all connected, that when we respect those around us and take into consideration how we can make this world a better place, that the choices we make are pure and wise. Today, together, we hold the power to alter the course of history, to make sure it's written in a way that's positive and in a way that doesn't result in a tragedy like we've just seen. We have the power to alter that course of history, to prevent preventable tragedies with good choices. We've been given the gift of opportunity, the opportunity to make the world a better, safer, a little bit wiser place. I thank you guys for allowing me to be here the last couple of days. And I thank you for giving all of us that amazing gift of opportunity.
We're going to have a poem read by Aaron Cocker.
Death of Innocence by an author unknown. I went to a party, Mom. I remember what you said. You told me not to drink, Mom, so I drank soda instead. I really felt proud inside, Mom, the way you said I would. I didn't drink and drive, Mom, even though the others said I should. I know I did the right thing, Mom. I know you're always right. Now the party is finally ending, Mom, as everyone drives out of sight. As I got into my car, Mom, I knew I'd get home in one piece. Because of the way you raised me, Mom, so responsible and sweet. I started to drive away, Mom, but as I pulled onto the road, the other car didn't see me, Mom, and hit me like a load. As I lie here on the pavement, Mom, I hear the policeman say, "The other guy is drunk, Mom, and now I'm the one who'll pay." I'm lying here dying, Mom. I wish you'd get here soon. How come this happened to me, Mom? My life burst like a balloon. There's blood all around me, Mom. Most of it is mine. I hear the paramedics say, Mom, I'll be dead in a short time. I just wanted to tell you, Mom, I swear I didn't drink. It was the others, Mom. The others didn't think. He didn't know where he was going, Mom. He was at the same party as I. The only difference is, Mom, he drank and I will die. Why do people drink, Mom? It can ruin your whole life. I'm feeling sharp pains now, Mom. Pains just like a knife. The guy who hit me is walking, Mom, and I don't think it's fair. I'm lying here dying, Mom, and all he can do is stare. Tell my brother not to cry, Mom. Tell Daddy to be brave. And when I get to heaven, Mom, my daddy's on my grave. Someone should have told him, Mom, not to drink and drive. If only they'd have taken the time, Mom, I would still be alive. My breath is getting shorter, Mom, and I'm becoming very scared. Please don't cry for me, Mom, because when I needed you, you were always there. I have one last question, Mom, before I say goodbye. I didn't ever drink, Mom, so why am I the one to die? This is the end, Mom. I wish I could look you in the eye to say these final words, Mom. I love you and goodbye.
You know, that poem could be for any one of us in here. As seen in the video, one moment we can be having the greatest time, and one moment later, we may not be here with you. Decisions that we make changes our reality in a heartbeat. And as young students still learning how to drive or getting your permits, you know, be responsible. It's your responsibility. Your parents do what they can for you, but it's you as young adults getting those licenses, getting that extra freedom. You need to earn that freedom from your parents. Don't assume that it should be given to you. Earn that freedom by showing responsibility, by making the great choices that you need to make on a daily basis. As we continue, we have a guest speaker from MAD, and I have a personal connection to this family, as I was the public information officer for the Highway Patrol who had to help this family through part of this tragedy. I'm going to bring Lonnie George from Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Good morning. Well, like I said, my name is Lonnie George. In the front row here is my wife, Kim. This is our son, Matthew. 2 years ago, I was doing the every 15 minutes, 2 years ago, let me step back for a second. 2 years ago, I was doing every 15 minutes program retreat. And I had one of the students ask, how do you guys do this? How do you guys go about your life every day after you lose a child? And I told her by coming here and sharing our story and hoping that this doesn't happen to you, your family, or any other family. In Matt's junior year of high school, he had the every 15 minutes program at his school. And as you all know, the parents and students participate in it. He had the opportunity to become one of the living dead. It was his cousin that did it the year before at his school, and he told Matt all about all the stuff that had happened. Matt thought, hey, this is pretty cool. You know, I like to do this. So he came home and asked his mom, Mom, can I be in the every 15 minutes program? And she said, Matt, I can't. I can't for 1 minute even imagine you being killed by a drunk driver. 2 years later, at age 19 years, 10 months, and 2 days, Matt was killed in a drunk driving collision. He was a 2010 graduate of Whitney High School in Rockland. Matt thought high school was what it was like in elementary school. All you had to do is show up, and you were going to pass all the classes. You know, hey, I don't have to do a lot of the work. I'm just going to pass. Well, he quickly realized after his sophomore year that that wasn't happening. He was failing pretty much all of his classes. So he decided at that point, he better kick himself in the butt and get out of here. He didn't want to be on a 6-year program in high school. So he did. He was actually in ROTC. His goal in life was to join the Air Force and be a mechanic. So he had to step out of that program, which devastated him. But he had to make up those classes that he had failed for those 2 years. And he did it. He pushed himself. He did every after school, night school, summer school program that he possibly could do. And when he stood on that football field that night, you couldn't have knocked him off that cloud. He accomplished something in those 2 years that he didn't think he was going to be able to do. But you see, he had those 2 years to think. Is the Air Force the career I want to go? Do I want to be a mechanic? Do I want to go off to trade school? What do I want to do? He wanted to take a year off before he decided which way in life he was going to go. So after that summer of 2010 was over, most of Matt's friends went back to school. They went off to college, and his best friend went off to the Air Force. So life wasn't what it was for him for those 12 years prior. He didn't have his friends to hang out with. He couldn't stand around the corridor and talk and share his stories and listen to other people's stories every day. It was a whole different situation. Once you get out of high school, your friends aren't there anymore for you like they were for those 12 years prior growing up. So he was at home one day, and one of his friends said, hey, Matt, why don't you come out with me? I'm going to go out to the beach, come out, check it out. So he said, all right, cool, I'll go with you, not a problem. So they took off, and they got up to the beach. When they got there that day, it reminded Matt of what he had gone into school. There was a bunch of people there he could stand and talk to. He had the beach he can go swim at. He can go do whatever he could every day. You see, when Matt was growing up, we have 2 kids. They're 6 years and 1 day apart. Matt's birthday is October 11th. Our other son, Chris, is October 10th. So we did a lot of stuff every summer to kind of keep those two kind of close together because that 6-year age span was a big significant age span. So we did a lot of stuff every summer. We'd take him out camping and we'd go boating. We'd do all kinds of different things. When Matt, from a very young age, he would make sure when we went camping, he would introduce himself to every campsite around us. So by the time the end of the week or weekend was over, everyone knew his name. You'd be walking through the campgrounds there and everyone would be yelling his name. You'd be like, who are all these people? Well, these are all my new friends that I met, Dad. We would go to this one campground every summer, and they had this big old huge ice cream. So we'd go, we'd eat an early dinner, about 4 or 5 o'clock. After dinner was over, you look over, Matt would be up at that campsite over there having dinner, and next night you look over, he's over having dinner at that campsite. And we're like, what is he telling all these people? Well, he was telling everyone we hadn't fed him dinner, so he was double dipping in all of his meals. So he'd go get an ice cream after that too. So the beach reminded him of that. He had that atmosphere of people to hang out with and stuff. He was working seasonal help that year, and it was in the fall there. He'd go there once a week. After the holidays was over, he lost his job. So he started going there 2 days a week, 3 days a week. By the time the summer of 2011 rolled around, Matt was going there pretty much every day. He was traveling back and forth from Rockland to Sacramento. And he was always running his truck out of gas all the time. He'd run it to the last few fumes. He ended up having to push it off the side of the road or call Mom and Dad to come over and rescue him, bring him a gallon of gas so he can get to the gas station. So one of his friends who lived right around the corner from the beach said, hey, Matt, I have an extra room. You can crash out here at night. That way you're not going back and forth all the time. So he thought, hey, this is a great idea. You know, I'll stay at her place. That way I'm not going back all the time. So that's what he did. So that summer of 2011, he told everyone this was his summer to remember. This was his final hurrah before he got sent off to either the military or he decided to go off to trade school. He met a lot of good people that summer. He stayed at her house one night. He stayed at another person's house and another night. One night he was at the beach there, August 11th, 2011, and he seen this girl. And they had kind of said hi and bye pretty much all summer, but they really hadn't had a chance to sit down and talk. So this night they finally had that chance. They had that chance to sit down and say, talk and converse throughout the night. But it got late, and she said, hey, you know what? I got to take off. I got to be at work tomorrow morning. It was a Thursday night. I got to get out of here. He goes, well, why don't you come back tomorrow? It's Friday night. There's going to be a bunch of people here. It's a full moon. A lot of people are going to come hang out. She goes, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. Not a problem. So she went about her way. Matt left. Friday rolled around. Matt showed up to the beach a little early that afternoon. Around 7 o'clock that night, she showed up. She brought along one of her friends. Her friend had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old with her. At the same time, 7 o'clock, this other guy named Jacinto showed up at the beach that night. No one had ever seen Jacinto there. See, everyone had hung out that summer there at the beach. Everyone recognized each other's face. If you were that new guy or new girl that showed up there that day, they would take you in and hang out with you, make you felt welcome, make you felt like one of their family. Jacinto was that guy that night. He told everyone this was his final night. He was being sent off into the military the next morning, and he had to be at the base early the next day. So they all took him in and started hanging out with him that night. They were all partying on the beach. Around 11 o'clock, Jacinto got a ride up to the liquor store and came back with another 12-pack of beer. You see, Jacinto had just turned 21 about 2 months before this. So they were all hanging out there talking and drinking at that time. Around 11:30, the mother of the 2 kids said, hey, I got to get these 2 kids home. Why don't you guys come stay the night at our place? You guys can crash out there tonight, and I just got to get them home to bed. It's going to be almost midnight by the time we get home. So they all said, cool, that's fine. We'll get a ride with you guys. Matt said, hey, you know what? I've had a couple beers tonight. I don't want to take a chance on driving my truck. I drove here tonight, and I don't want to take a chance on getting a DUI or something, having something happen. Can I get a ride with you guys? She said, yeah, no problem. We should have room. So that's when they realized they had problem number 1. Problem number 1 was the girl who had the car that was big enough to fit everyone in it, been drinking from the time she got there at 7 o'clock. She was too drunk to drive. Jacinto was in the background, listening to all this conversation going on. They were going back and forth as to who was going to drive. The mother of the 2 kids who came with her that day said, I can't drive either. I've had a prior DUI. I don't want to take a chance on driving and getting pulled over and having my kids taken away from me. Jacinto came up to him and said, hey, I've been listening to you guys talk for a few minutes here. You guys sound like you guys don't live too far from where I'm at. I can give you guys a ride back to your place, and I'll get a ride from your house back to my house. They said, all right, we don't know this guy, but he says he's fine. He told us he only had 1 beer, because that's what he told him that night. He said, hey, I've only had this 1 beer. I can get you guys home. I'm fine. I can drive. So they all believed him at that point. So they left the beach there. They walked up to the parking lot. That's when they realized they had problem number 2. Problem number 2 was they had 8 people, including those 2 kids who were in their car seats, were going to cram into this car that only had 5 seat belts. Matt said, hey, you know what? I don't want to take a chance on having those kids sitting on someone else's lap and something happening to them. Keep those kids in the car seats. See, they were only going to go a few blocks. It was only a few miles. They were only going to take the back roads. They weren't going to get on the freeway to go where they had to go. They thought it was safe. Matt said, hey, you know what? Keep those kids in the car seats. I'll jump in the back, and I'll get a ride in the trunk. We're only going to go a short distance. So they did. They all piled in the car. Matt hopped in the back. As they were leaving the parking lot, Jacinto thought it'd be kind of funny to kind of screw around with Matt in the back of the car. So he started weaving around stuff that was in the parking lot. Matt was being sloshed around all over in the back, and he was yelling back and forth to him to knock it off, quit screwing around. They all yelled back to him, oh, we're just having fun with you. And they were all laughing and joking at that point. Matt was actually on the phone with one of his closest friends, talking on the phone with her at that point. And she heard him yelling at the driver. And she goes, well, what's going on? She goes, well, we're just gone a few blocks to this girl's house, and this guy's screwing around with me in the back of the car. As they left the parking lot, though, Jacinto thought he'd turn it up a notch. He was going to show off a little bit more, kind of impress the girls that were in the car that night. So he started speeding. He was weaving in and out of traffic. He was all over the road. At that same time, multiple people had called 911. And this one family had called him and said, I'm following this guy. This guy appears to be under the influence. I'll continue to follow him until you guys get here, which they did continue to follow him. The mood quickly changed in the car at that point. They went from everyone laughing and joking and having a good time to everyone screaming and pleading, "Let me out of this car. Pull over. Let somebody else drive." The mood changed dramatically. They got up to where they were going to make that turn. You see, they warned Jacinto, "Don't get on the freeway. This car only has a donut spare in the back of this car. We can't get on the freeway." So when they got to that street where they were supposed to make that turn, everyone, like I said, was screaming and crying, "Let me out. Pull over. Let somebody else drive." He turned to them at that time and said, "Don't worry about it. I got it under control." And he shot past that street they were supposed to turn onto and jumped onto Highway 50 at 65th Street. When he jumped onto that on-ramp, he shot across all 3 lanes of traffic. The moment he hit that 3rd lane of traffic, he lost control of the car. The car came back across those 3 lanes, hit the guardrail at over 60 miles an hour. When it hit that guardrail, it threw a car into a spin. The trunk popped open. Matt was ejected out of the back. He was thrown about 150 feet out of the back of that car, at about a 75-foot drop over the overpass, where he died on impact. The car continued to spin out of control, came to a stop. When it came to that stop, Jacinto figured, "No one knows who I am. All they know is my name is Jacinto. They don't know where I live. I'm going to get out of here." He jumped out of that car, took off running as fast as he possibly could. The car had actually caught fire at that point. The people who had been following him pulled up behind him, came up, got the kids out of the back seat. Matt's other friend, his name was also Matt, was riding in the front seat. He had another passenger sitting on his lap. He jumped out of the car, ran back to the back of that car, saw the trunk was shut, ran back up, popped the trunk open, came back to the back of the car, and saw his friend wasn't there. He panicked at that point. He started running up and down the freeway, screaming and yelling his name. He didn't know where his friend was at. He thought he was hurt, laying on the side of the road somewhere. He came back to that car, and the girl who was too drunk to drive that night said, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to get in trouble for having Matt riding in the back of the car. So when the police arrived, let's tell him that he never came with us, and he stayed back at the beach, and he never got in the car with us that night." Matt's friend said, "I'm not going to do that. Matt's laying around here hurt somewhere, and I'm going to keep looking for him." So he ran up and down the freeway, continued to look for him. So when the police arrived that night, they got those 2 conflicting stories. One that Matt was here, one when Matt was left back at the beach. So they searched up and down the freeway. They sent a unit down below. They couldn't find Matt. The crash occurred a little after midnight on the 13th of August, 2011. Jacinto was apprehended that night. Approximately 2 hours after the crash, his blood alcohol was still 0.15. He had actually been drinking all day at a bar, drove his car home from the bar, got a ride up to the beach, and continued to drink. No one would have got in that car that night had they known how much he had been drinking. Matt would have never jumped in the back of that car had they known that he had had more than just that 1 beer. You see, everyone only thought that they saw him with that 1 beer that night. No one really knew that he had actually been drinking one after another. He was apprehended. His life changed from that point on. We know when he woke up that day, his first thought in his mind wasn't, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go out, get drunk, jump in someone else's car, and go out and kill someone." But he did. And it changed his life forever from that point on. He was sentenced to 10 years in a state prison. He was in the military. He was dishonorably discharged from the military. And he had a fiancée who was 8.5 months pregnant. And they were no longer together, as the last I heard. So he went from having a promising life of possibly going into the military and having a career out of it, to now being a convicted felon for the rest of his life. Like I say, the crash occurred after midnight that morning. 9:30, Saturday morning. A couple was walking down below the freeway there. They seen the debris from the crash from the night before, and they followed that debris trail to where they found Matt. He was still laying there. He'd laid there for over 9 hours that night. When he laid there for that 9 hours, the phone that he had been talking on disappeared, and the wallet that he had on him was gone. Now Matt was a John Doe. No one was talking. Jacinto was in a cell. The girls who were in the car with him that night had actually hired lawyers the next day and weren't saying a word. A whole day goes by. All day Saturday rolls by. We think Matt's hanging out with one of his friends. Sunday morning, we get a call. My wife answers the phone. It's one of Matt's, the girl he had been staying on and off with in Sacramento. She said, hey, can I talk to Matt? I just need to ask him a question. He got a new phone a couple days before. When my wife got off the phone with her, she goes, she calls back, you answer the phone. Something doesn't sound right in her voice. Something doesn't sound right. I figured she's not going to call back. They were just out somewhere the night before, and she just wanted to ask Matt something. Well, less than 5 minutes later, she did call back and told me what she had saw. She saw something on Channel 3 that morning, that they had found a body, and they were hoping someone could identify him. She saw something on Facebook that said, rest in peace, Matt. And she heard rumors that he had been riding in the back of a car. And she were hoping that all these dots didn't connect and lead it back to Matt. I remember when I got off the phone with her, I remember reading that story in the paper about 10 minutes before that phone call. I remember reading that story of how CHP had found a body, and they were hoping for someone to identify him. Little did I know at the time, I was actually reading a story about my own son. I picked up the phone, and I dialed that number. And they took down my information, and they transferred me over to the coroner. The deputy coroner answered the phone. He said, yes, Mr. George, we do have someone here that fits that description. You can come down and ID him, or we can ID him through his fingerprints from his driver's license. Well, I chose the latter. I figured this isn't my son. This is someone else that's laying in the morgue there. I'm not going to go down and identify somebody else that's laying there. You're in a denial point at this point. You're in shock. You think that this isn't really happening to you. This doesn't happen to our family. This happens to other families on TV and in the paper. This doesn't happen to us. So I called our family up and I told them what we had saw, what we had heard. And they all started pouring into the house. About 2 hours later, we got that phone call. We got that phone call that no parent ever wants to get. Matt was the one who was laying in the morgue. We lost our child. In the blink of an eye, we went from a family of 4 to a family of 3. It changed our lives forever from that day forward. They had a candlelight vigil the next day at the beach. 2 days later, they had a candlelight vigil at a park in Sacramento. And about 250 to 300 people showed up that day. And over half of them stood up on this picnic table, and they all shared a story of how this 19-year-old had made an impact in their lives, how he was there for them if they were having a bad day. If they had been out drinking at a party somewhere, they'd give him a call in the middle of the night, and he would wake up, and he'd come over and pick them up to make sure they got a safe ride home. If he was somewhere and he saw someone who had been drinking, he would make sure he would take their keys away from them so they wouldn't get behind that wheel of that car. These stories continue on and on. We still see them on his Facebook today. We run into people, and we see that how this one person, this one life, changed so many lives around us. Like I said, when something like this happens, you don't think it's going to affect people around you. You think it's just going to affect your family. But it affects your family, your friends, their friends, our coworkers, our neighbors. It's an ongoing ripple effect as to how many people this one life changes from that one instance. We as parents remember the things that our kids do in life. We remember your first steps, your first day of school, your graduation. The one thing that I have to remember for the rest of my life is having to choose the clothes for my son for his funeral. That's not something any parent should ever have to do. We should never, ever have to bury our kids. Not for something like this, not for something that's 100% preventable. These deaths and these crashes don't have to happen. We have another son, like I said before. They were getting close at this point. They had finally started going out. Matt had finally caught up in that age. They finally started going out and doing stuff together and doing those things that brothers, like to do. Went out to their first concert, started hanging out. When he was ripped out of his life like that, it tore him apart. He went into a depression for over a year there. And it just, he tried to hide in it because as siblings, they take the deaths a lot different. They don't want their parents to see them suffering like that too. They try to be strong for us. But in effect, it hurts him worse. And it sent him into a tailspin. We went from a family of 4. He went from having a brother to being an only child. He'll never see his brother grow up. He'll never be in his wedding. He'll never see him have kids. They'll never grow old together. That one decision by someone to get behind the wheel of that car changed so many lives. So we hope when you guys leave today, you guys make the right decisions, not to get behind the wheel of a car. Call a friend, call a family member, call someone relative you know. Have a plan before you guys go out somewhere. Have your parents, your family members, put that one Uber thing on your phone. So if you guys ever get into that predicament, do you guys need to get home? All you got to do is hit that button, and you get home, have that conversation with your parents, so no questions are asked until after. Think about how that decision could change your life, your lives, your family's lives, your friends that sit around you right now. Think about how that one choice, that one decision can change so many people's lives at a blink of an eye. We don't want to see one of your family members standing up here where I'm at, sharing a story of how you got into a car with someone and you were killed. Nor do we want to see another family member up here sharing a story of how you got behind the wheel of a car and killed one of their family members. So make that call, make that decision before you go out. They would much rather bring you home alive than to have to visit you in a cell, pick out your body in a morgue, or bring you home in an urn like we had to do. Because there's not a day that doesn't go by that we don't think, is this really happening? You wake up in the morning, is this really going on? Is Matt going to come home? Because you're in that point, even 5 years later, almost 5 years later, you still think, is this really happening to us? You walk down the hall, you expect Matt to jump out and try scaring you out of his room. You walk into his room, and his room still looks the same. And you turn, and you look on his dresser. And on his dresser, there's his urn with his name on it. And you know that this is your life. He's not coming home. That one decision changes us as a family forever. So think about how that can change your lives. We come here today to share our story with the hopes that Matt's death will mean something to all your lives. I thank you.
Like I said earlier, I worked directly on this case with the George's family. It's the one tragedy when you know your loved one is missing, and to come to find, a day later, 2 days later, that's your child that was unidentified. I went to that crash scene. I searched for that body. And like I said, in law enforcement and fire, we looked for that body that night. It was extremely dark. Officers looking over the top of the freeway for a body laying 85, 90 feet below, 100 feet off the freeway. We didn't find that body. We searched. And those are one of those crashes that you remember. And it's very unfortunate. Like I said, for them to share their story over and over again to different schools, to different community groups, is a testament to their commitment to save someone's life. Some young man or young woman's or any family member's life. Once again, we thank you. One more round of applause for the George family. We're going to now have, last night, the participants sitting before you and the family members, the parents went to a retreat, the students were at a retreat, and parents wrote letters to their children. And these young students wrote letters to their parents. And we have selected 2 students and 2 parents to read those letters to show you the impact that missing a child just for one night, although you know this is fake, has a traumatic effect on everyone. So we're going to have students read first, and we're first going to have, let's have Allison Boudreau come up and read her letter.
This is a letter to my mom and my dad. Every 15 minutes, someone in the United States dies or is seriously injured in an alcohol-related incident. Today, I died. I died today. I say goodbye. I never thought this day would come. And I didn't think it was gonna be the last time to see your guys' faces. Even though I'm no longer physically here, I'm here. I'll always be here. Today is the day the truth comes out. The line is made. I'm sorry. Every day I get to wake up to a family and family members who care for me. And today's the day of regret. There are times where I don't fully appreciate everything you've given me. And there's times that I've disappointed you. And at the end of the day, that's the worst thing, is to disappoint your parents. However, today is the best day to be grateful. To be extremely grateful for the life that I've lived and for the path that you guys have built me. You're my inspiration in life. One day, I had wished to grow up like you, be as independent as you, and as successful. From cutting the crust off of my bread for lunch to saying, "I love you, honey," in front of all my friends, and I run away acting like I don't know you. To every time I'm on the softball field and I get a good hit, "That's my baby girl." You know, people take that lightly, but you shouldn't. You're the people that are always there for me when times get tough. And you're the people I come to cry to when I have no one else. You've never given up on me. You're truly my day one. I don't know where I would be today without you guys. And I don't know who I would have been without you. But I thank you for this extraordinary life and all the memories, and great memories that have come along with it. Tell my little sister Kira that I love her. Tell her that she's exceptional. And I know one day she'll be a great gymnast like she always wanted to be. Tell her to stay strong. I love you all. Love me.
Our second student letter will be Sienna Lopez.
Dear Mom and Dad, every 15 minutes someone in the United States dies or is seriously injured in an alcohol-related incident. Today I died. 17 years. It seems like a lot at the time. 17 years, and I feel like I've been through it all, but in reality I haven't even begun. I know we've had our rough patches throughout the years, and what I would give to go back and say I love you just one more time. To take back those things I said. To hear Stella say, "Nana, you want McDonald's?" The truth is, in the moment you never think it could be you. I wish someone else had the parents I did to tell them, "Don't drink and drive and do the right thing," because then I wouldn't be here, writing you this letter. I took you guys for granted, and there truly isn't a day that goes by where I wish I could tell you how much you have impacted my life. You made me into the woman I am, or was going to be. I was so close. All I've ever wanted was to make you guys happy. I wanted you to be able to watch me walk across the stage and go to college, and I wanted to be able to hear Bobby say, "I'm proud of you, mija," the way he used to when I get an A on my math test. I live for those moments. Now I'm not living at all. Never did I ever think I'd be saying goodbye to the people that have spent every moment of my life trying to guide me onto the right path. We need more people like you guys. You guys are the most amazing people I've ever met, and I don't know what I did to deserve parents like you. I have made my fair share of mistakes, but you've never stopped loving me, and for that, I truly owe you my life. Take care of Stella for me. If you guys do half as good a job with her as you did with me, she'll be an amazing young woman. Tell her about me, and that I loved her so much, and that Nana's gonna be up there watching her, helping her. And if you guys need something, let me know. I'm just a prayer away. Me and Grandpa's will be up there watching you guys. I've always loved you, and I always will. Thank you, your daughter.
What amazing letters from two fabulous students. And we'll have the parent letter first, Maureen Long.
Good morning. My name is Maureen Long. My son Austin was arrested for drunk driving. Dear Austin, as I sit in your room, I find myself staring at a picture of your dad holding you the day you were born. It saddens me deeply to know that because of alcohol, our family has now not only suffered the loss of him, but now we will be losing you to a prison sentence. I was so proud of you in your choice to go to UNR and pursue a career in the medical field. I have watched you help others for years. You have been an amazing son, brother, friend, and coach. It breaks my heart to know that one bad decision to drink and drive will not only prevent you from pursuing your dreams to help people, you have taken the lives of Natalie and James, paralyzed Jenny, and impacted their families and friends forever. I can't begin to explain the disappointment, sadness, and confusion I feel. You are one of the smartest, talented, athletic, and big-hearted people I have ever known. I wish you could turn back the time and not drink and drive, but unfortunately, that is not a possibility. You must live with the consequences and punishments of your actions. Our family will not be the same without you around. The entire family is going to miss your outgoing personality and the friendly bantering at holidays and in day-to-day life. You are my son, and I will love you unconditionally. Love, Mom.
Thank you, Ms. Long. And now we'll have parent Kathy Harris.
Dearest sweet Sammy, I can't believe I have to write you this letter today. You were just here and I keep waiting for you to walk through the door. I sit here in your room and I'm reminded of all the things that make you you. From the day you were born, you've held a special place in my heart. My little curly blonde-haired girl with the biggest smile and the warm eyes. Melted the hearts of everyone you met. Strangers being drawn to you and wanting to give you gifts was not uncommon. In fact, your favorite stuffed friend Moo came from a stranger who just felt like he had to give it to you. You had this spirit that made people smile just being in your presence and laugh. Oh, you made us laugh with your little witty, sassy comments and comebacks. Oh, and your fashion sense. In elementary school, your teachers couldn't wait to see what your outfit of the day would be. And while no one else could ever pull it off, you always rocked it. The phrase, "good things come in little packages," describes you perfectly. Always the smallest in every class. You never let anyone push you around. I still laugh at the time you were about 4 at the water slides, and some teenage boys tried to cut in line in front of you. And the look you gave them had them backing away with their arms in surrender. "I'm not small, I'm fun size," was your mantra. And fun you were, especially as a teenager. Oh, how I'd love to see you go back and forth with Scott or Austin. You handed it to him every time. And Hunter and Brody adored you, even though they drove you nuts. I knew if I asked you to watch them, you would play games with them and keep them happy. They thought it was the coolest thing that their big sister would play with them. They're going to miss you so much. I'm going to miss you so much. I've enjoyed watching you grow into a beautiful young woman and can't get a grasp on this being the end. You're supposed to go to college and become the CEO of Disney. After becoming a princess, of course. I'm supposed to help you into your beautiful white dress and veil. On the day you marry your soulmate, your Prince Charming. We're supposed to watch your belly grow as you fall in love with your mini-me you growing inside you. I'm supposed to answer the phone when you call needing advice on life, men, love, babies, toddlers, teenagers, money. We're even supposed to watch you become a grandparent someday. It can't end now. Why has it ended now? What are we supposed to do? I know I'm supposed to say goodbye to you, but I just can't. I won't. I will talk to you whether you are listening or not. It's okay, I'm used to it. I hope you will hear me and know always that you are the light of my life. And in the life of everybody who knew you. And even though that light may have gone out physically, it will shine in my heart forever. I love you more than words can say, my little pixie Pop-Tart.
We're winding down towards the end of this program. I just want to take this opportunity to thank the parents for sacrificing their time, their families, their students, so that we can have an impact on 2,800 or so students at Franklin High School. As law enforcement, as fire, as medical personnel, we only have this small snippet in time to make a difference. A difference that can affect the rest of your lives. Like I said earlier, this program costs law enforcement, fire, hospital staff over $100,000 easily. But that's the sacrifice that we make so that we can save you 15 to 20-year-olds, because we see the devastating impacts it has on families. To go into the final phase of the program, we'll call up Chaplain Norm Powers.
Good morning. It's been a pretty intense couple of days for y'all, especially for the parents. I want to thank the parents, as you've heard, for the pain they've been going through. You heard a little bit of that in those letters. You know, it's not easy to even imagine losing one of their loved ones. But yesterday, we had about 4 teams of chaplains, including a CHP officer, go to their homes and their places of work to let them know your son, your daughter died. And even though they knew it wasn't real, it's one of our worst fears as parents that something would happen to our kids. And so all of you are watching this whole program, and some of you get it and some of you don't, and that's normal. But the most important thing is you realize the impact that this program has on so many different people. As you heard from my brother Joe over here, you heard from Lonnie with his son that really happened. There's a lot of intense emotions in this program because these type of things happen on a regular basis. Every day, the chaplaincy, the law enforcement chaplaincy that I represent, we actually do go to people like you, your homes, and let people that you love know that you died, if it happens, you know, if that happened to you. We do that on a regular basis for real. 4 to 6 a week. We notify people they lost somebody. And you can't imagine the reaction that those people have when something like this really does. Unfortunately, Matthew's mom and dad went through it. It's not something you ever get over. You get through a moment, but you never get over it. You'll always love and miss your family member. The parents with this program, it's a great opportunity for them to kind of refocus and help them make their loved ones make sound judgments, to impart their wisdom on their loved ones so they can make good judgments and make good decisions. See, all of us want to be able to see all of you live out your dreams, to be able to pursue that whole idea of happiness. And whatever your goal is in life, we want to see you fulfill that goal. But the only way you're going to do that is, one way anyway, is to make those good judgments, to make sound judgments. The overwhelming sadness and sorrow that happens when a bad choice is made will impact everybody forever. So remember, your decisions determine destiny, your destiny. And we want you to make those good decisions. In these type of situations, in this whole program, and in everyday life, as Officer Bradley said, people respond when there is a crash. We don't say accident. A crash happens because someone made a choice. An accident, obviously, as the name implies, might be something that couldn't be avoided. So these type of things are crashes and collisions, not accidents. When these things happen, a lot of people are impacted. From the person who first witnesses the accident, crash, and that person calls 911, what I'm going to do now is show you how many people are impacted by this situation, this crash, this collision. As I mention what your name is, what your role is, what your occupation is, and even parents and people in the back, everybody in the whole gym is included in this. I want you to stand where you are. So the person that witnesses this crash calls 911, the dispatcher answers. For your dispatcher, please stand up. That dispatcher then actually will call a law enforcement officer, sheriff deputies, police officer, LE officers, police officers, sheriff, please stand up. Any law enforcement officers? All right. They, in turn, will assess the situation and no doubt call the firefighters. The firefighters, paramedics, ambulance drivers, tow truck drivers, please stand up. Then at that point, many times the paramedics will call the hospital and start to talk about the condition of the victim. And so at that point, the hospital room, the emergency room, doctors, nurses, technicians are all impacted and ready to roll when that person comes in. If you are one of these people, please stand up. Hospital, nurses. Then the coroner, the pathologists, and the funeral homes are also impacted and come into play. And they also, please stand up. Then the chaplains, clergy, mosque, synagogue, whatever it may be, they also are called for the families. So please, chaplains, clergy, please stand up. Organ tissue donation teams, victim advocates, district attorney, judges. The decisions you make affect a lot of people, not just one. Each one of these people have to respond to that decision. Each one of them are impacted. You heard Officer Bradley talk about the laughter. As I've seen with some of you, by the way, I've seen some of you laughing. And I'm not making a judgment because I realize sometimes the pain is easier to cover up with a smile. That's how you're responding to this situation. If you're feeling, if you know one of these people, if you're a relative of them, let's say, if you're a relative, please stand up. Let's do that first. Very important, relatives. Yesterday, throughout the day, each classroom had someone come into their classroom and represent what's happened to your loved ones. And Tad Hugenbush over here, the Grim Reaper, please stand up, Tad, and go ahead and take off your... Oh, okay. It's hot. Thank you, Ted. You want to do that now? Okay, thank you, Ted. Didn't forget you this time. Then, if you happen to know any of these people here, any of these people involved, please stand up. All right, hold on, we're almost done. Quiet down, please, quiet down. Now, very important, this is something Austin's been waiting for. Officer Bradley, please stand up, students.
Officer Gears.
Well, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Officer Gears is going to take care of this. Thank you. Thank you. All right, as you can see, this whole situation, this alcohol-related, look how many people it affected. Hundreds of people are affected by this choice. It's a terrible tragedy because of a bad choice. Your life is precious to everybody, and you will be missed by many, many people forever. So what I'd like to do at this point, this is a point that the parents have been waiting for a long time. Parents and families, and I think that might be easier for you maybe to step down to help them come to you. Why don't at the very end, James, why don't you lead them down the stairs and around? And I'm not sure who's at that end, but if you can, Natalie, I can't see her. Go down there and come around to the front of the stage, please. That way, yeah, there you go. Thank you. This is the time the parents have been waiting for. Come get your students, come get your kids. I want to thank you all for being patient and listening and being attentive.
Thank you, Mary, very much, Franklin High School. That concludes the program. You will now return to advisory. Advisory. Thank you very much.
Breathe now.
I know you lost sleep last night.
Yeah, I had to work last night too.
Do you know about the first responders rescue response? They have people that have been traumatized by all the things that they've seen and how they did.
Specifically what you're talking about.
The one in Napa? You know I'm a veteran and I'm also was a helicopter nurse for 10 years and all that kind of stuff. Is that I hear your pain so much that to have this program for first responders to go in and to debrief some of this stuff. And I know our fire departments do, but sometimes
It's funny because
I hear your
our department is they're bringing. I don't know where the gentleman's from, but it's what he said. And they scheduled all of us on duty to attend, and then they've scheduled a family night for us to bring our families and learn about it too. So